over.
Wait, what were we talking about before though?
We were
Memorial
talking
Day
about
weekend.
yeah, or before that, or whenever in May, but we can figure out something.
I mean, I can still do that.
Okay.
I'll just make sure the roommate's okay with that because I guess driving would make the most sense. I don't really want to, but
I mean, you're fully vaxxed, right?
yeah, but but at least the car you control your whole way there, and then you can limit who you're interacting with once you're in Chicago. But on the train, you'll be on there for 5 hours with a bunch of people recirculating air. So
True, but hey, no one's caught. I don't think anyone's caught it from the plane or in transportation necessarily.
we shall see.
Whenever like Google says, "Hey, we protect your privacy," I fully expect Google not to protect my privacy.
I was like, I'll handle that on my own. With the exception of our podcast network.
Dude, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be yawning.
How dare you? What? You
I
had
know.
have you had a long day, Tom? Huh?
So,
Have you had a
okay.
long
So,
2 weeks, Tom?
dude,
I guess it's been 3 weeks. Shit.
yeah. So Tuesday, I ran a 6-hour meeting. And I also had 2.5 hours of meetings after that. So I had 8.5 hours of meetings on Tuesday. The 6-hour meeting that we have tomorrow was actually supposed to be today, and that got moved. And I thought, oh, good, I have all day Wednesday with no meetings. And by the
Yeah.
time by the time I woke up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 hours of new meetings popped up. Oh, Tom's free. We could talk to him.
Yeah, that's when you need to put like a sign outside your door. I know you don't have a door right now, but the metaphorical door, and be like, look, if your arm hasn't fallen off and you're not like bleeding from every orifice, not one, but every orifice, I don't want to hear it.
Yep. Orifices.
Or I guess maybe the first question on that flow chart before we get to physical harm. It's like, could you have sent this in an email?
Yes. A lot of it is like I'm training a bunch of people, and people are. Oh, I'm glad you caught Paul Mooney.
Oh yeah. Guess
Sadly, I'm not too familiar with a lot of his work, but
yeah, I mean a lot of it was comedy writing. You know,
yeah,
like a lot of black exploitation comedy stuff. There, he's definitely in that Gregory Dick time period of performers and comedians or uh, commentator. I never know where to put Gregory Dick and Paul Mooney outside of the comedic stuff because it's not really social activism per se. It's kind of like I'm telling you how it is, and they're like, "Oh man, that old
yeah.
Negro said that. It must be true," and we just kind of all went along with it. Like that's the only way Negro Damas. The only way that skit works is because he's been that old dude in the community. Like you could switch it out with Gregory Dick, and everyone would have been done the same thing. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah."
Oh man, actually, I wonder, can you still buy Dick Gregory?
Oh, thank you. I flipped the name around.
It's all right.
Dick and I'm like,
Um,
who? Gregory Peck is who I was screwing it up with, but yes, Dick Gregory is who I'm actually referring to. Yes.
Dick Gregory's Caribbean Shake for optimal health plant-based protein powder.
Yeah, that doesn't sound safe.
I mean, Dick Gregory's been in the weight loss shake game for 30 years, at least.
I'm trying to think who else could be Negro Damas.
Not Cosby.
I guess he could have been. Can't be Morgan Freeman because once you've played Voice of God, you really can't.
Yeah.
You can't go down to them being a prophet. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't work.
Who else is? I mean, I hate to say it. No, Chappelle's. I'm not going to say that because
He's
Chappelle's
not-
like 6 years older than me.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Um,
Cornel West could probably do that.
Yeah.
He's had the hair for it ever since he's born. So him and Morgan Freeman, they came out the womb looking old.
Yeah, I mean, geez, like there's footage of him on Morgan Freeman on Electric Company, and he looks old there. It's just ridiculous.
I was wondering where you're going to reference. That's a good one. Yeah.
And yeah, that was like mid 70s when he was in that.
Well, folks, you
Oh,
heard me and Tom rambling there for a bit, and yeah, we took some time off. Tom is at a new job. He's been getting swamped. I was exhausted, so it just both lined up. I think I led the queue on that. I was like, I need a break, and Tom did not object. So here we are, 3 weeks later. Surprisingly, though, we did not miss too much. So I still watched movies. I got ready to write reviews and stuff. But as far as like actual big breaking news, it seems like we also timed it pretty well with Hollywood. With the exception of like, we'll talk Knives Out stuff here. And the AT&T news that broke this week, though. So.
Yes, and also, yeah, the Golden Globes happened while we were gone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tom Cruise gave back his Globe.
Yeah.
It's hard to hate. It's like he's making it hard to hate him. Like,
I mean,
we still can. Don't get me wrong. There's still plenty of stuff to be upset with him about.
Yeah, I mean, there's like one key piece that's still hard to like.
Yeah.
His love for LRH.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, moving past that sadness. All right. Oh, well, now we're going right back into sadness. So we heard us referencing Negro Damas in the intro. So, oh, what happened to my notes? There we go. If you're familiar with Paul Mooney, he played that role at Chappelle's Show. He'd done a lot of collaborations with Richard Pryor, some stand-up acts, helping Pryor on his concert shows, or just like any like television and movies that Richard Pryor did. Like either like solo Pryor acts or potentially ones he did in combination with Gene Wilder. So worked together on those. He's passed away at the age of 79. And we were joking about, we joked about the Negro Damas thing, but the reason we said that was you couldn't just pick an old black guy to play. You couldn't just pick an old black actor. It needed to be, he has some cachet with it because he's, some of his statements on like social issues in the black community have been very poignant. And he was running through some of those walls, some uncomfortable questions that a lot of people didn't want to talk about. So you go back and look at some of his interviews, people were like, how could you say that? It was like, it's accurate. And then now the culture, everyone would catch up later. And, I think a lot of people probably owe him an apology for being completely honest. Yeah.
Yeah, he was highly underrated. And though, like his last special was a little, but.
You lose your touch over time, or can lose connect. Because even with what I just said, some of the things he would be ornery about, like Paul. See, Stephen. Hey, what's up, Stephen? He was with Pryor when he caught on fire. That is. I didn't know that.
Oh man, actually, we should bring Stephen on to talk about. He is a wealth of information about Paul Mooney.
Oh yeah, we'll do it right now. But yes, we can have a follow-up chat. Do all the conversation on Mooney. All right, what else do we have in quick hits? It's supposed to be quick, and it needs Kenneth to like get on his stuff. Let's see.
Next, we got Chris Hemsworth celebrates the 10-year anniversary of Thor.
That's right. So he posted on his Instagram a very young photo. It's wild. Like they're not even that like, was it Chris Hemsworth maybe a year or two older than I am? I think he's 33, 34. So we're very close in spitting age. So he started
at the time, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, look pretty good in that photo. And I don't have the other caption that he put on his Instagram, but it's from an article, some early Marvel articles that said that this is going to be one of the worst castings they had ever, or at least what they had done so far in the MCU. And in hindsight, that is a hilarious statement. So that was a very, very poignant pick by Hemsworth.
Yep. Yeah, that is. Still, Thor is the lesser of the Marvel movies, but all in all, still happy.
They eventually got some of it right. I have.
What's more interesting is just look how ridiculous both of them look. Like Tom Hiddleston looks like he's trying out to play Doctor Who.
No, I see it.
And Hemsworth looks like an extra in Layer Cake or something like that.
Nice reference. Yeah, but shout out to that entire crew. I know most of them are back for 411 Thunder. Well, I guess except for the Knights 3, they're all gone, with the exception of Lady Sif. But yeah. Next,
I'm looking forward to Land of Thunder.
Yeah, I'm hoping it fits in better with the MCU. That's not a knock on you, Ragnarok. You're an amazing movie, but good lord, it is jarring. It's jarring to go back. Are you excited for MODOK?
I am a little bit.
Yeah, the commercials I keep seeing are intriguing. It feels like, I know it's on Hulu, but it feels like an Adult Swim show. It really feels like an Adult Swim show.
Yes.
And I want to read something that Jordan Blum said regarding that. He confirmed that it's not in the MCU, that they're really in their own universe. That's like, and also compared it to the DC property Harley Quinn, saying that it's not the movies, but it's a really cool within like the DC animated universe. So for this being in the Marvel animated universe, and let's see, Kevin Feige apparently really dug the show, digs the show. I'm gonna say digs the show, and encouraged them to keep going with their production. It's not gonna really interfere with that. Really enjoyed their creative process. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to lose with Patton Oswalt doing MODOK.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going with that angle.
All right, and we have some set photos from Star Wars Andor. So this is Cassian Andor, Captain Cassian from Star Trek. Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay.
And here comes the hate mail. Oh gosh, I can just see the inbox getting flooded. So we'll run through those photos for the folks that are watching at home. It's interesting though because it's got some beach scenes, and it shows him already kind of like with like the sand troopers, or kind of like those beach kind of like rural troopers that were in the movie when they were attacking Scarlet, or like the antenna base, the satellite base.
Yeah.
So
the hard drive backup planet.
The hard drive back. It's like an episode of now that I've been watching Mr. Robot. that whole movie feels like an episode of Mr. Robot. It's like we gotta target the physical facility before they move. If you've seen the first season, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Eliza Richardson, if you remember him, he was Isaiah Bradley's grandson in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hopes to come back, knowing that his character, being his grandson, is potentially going to be Patriot, U.S. Patriot in the universe, or possibly like a young Avenger, whatever they end up making it out to be. And he's just quoted as saying, I did my research after I found I got the role. I tried to figure out who Elijah Bradley was and what relationships he might have other people in the universe. So I just took that into consideration when approaching the character. The character. But he cannot confirm or deny which is the typical thing, whether he has a future role or not. So we keep thinking Young Adventures is going to happen because there's all these kids getting kind of sprinkled every here and there, but we don't know for sure.
Yep. It'll be exciting if they do. I mean, it feels like an inevitability, right? Because everything. I mean, we're doing a show about MODOK.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Hulu, but I feel like we're getting close to the bottom of the barrel.
You know what though? If the Agents of Atlas thing happens, it just seems like a perfect show to weave people in and out of, to where it's like you can have a core 4 to 6 people that you're like, these are going to be the people we focus on this show, but then you bring some people in and out that have been in some of those other properties. That way you don't have to sign them to like long-term things.
Mm-hmm.
You and me, we've stopped for that DC animated Justice League feel of like, watch the Booster Gold episode, and if you don't understand what I mean, of like a character that's been in the peripheral, they make 1 or 2 jokes about him, he has a really fleshed out episode, and then, but you don't have to use Booster Gold over and over again. That was the Booster Gold episode. This was the question episode, like just so on and so forth.
Yeah, I was always hoping that What If would be that, right? Or part of it. But I think it's going to go, well, what if Scarlet Witch was Captain America? Or something ridiculous like that. But I do think there was talk about a new Fury TV show, or Fury coming back in a TV show.
Yes. So I don't think I had time to add that here, but we got it in late, either last night or this morning, or no, I guess today, late this afternoon. So there is a Fury. It's called the Fury Files. It will be coming on Disney Plus, and it's actually geared a little more toward the animated Marvel shows. So if you watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is actually, of the Marvel shows, is actually pretty good. I recommend people watch that. Or Avengers Assemble, like any other kind of like Wolverine and X-Men, all those like animated shows. So they're going to use that to like flesh out the backstories of some characters. So it won't really be connected to the MCU per se, but it's like, let's say if you somehow have never heard of Wolverine and don't know it, Fury will basically talk through a case file, and they might show some clips from the animated series to like give you reference there. So the reason I'm excited about Earth's Mightiest Heroes is because they really went deep into like the characters that they had, like that are potentially could be used in Marvel, in that they're like, we're pulling you, we're gonna use you, we're gonna use you. Yeah. So they got a lot of stuff they can use for this Fury Files. Like once you get past like the first couple of Avengers, like you got some people you can really get into. So yeah.
Yep. I'm curious to see what they do with this. But they definitely I think that Disney Plus is the right venue for them to dive in deeper with some other characters.
All right.
Richardson being one of them.
So Peacemaker Season 2 has not been confirmed. So this is going to be John Cena's HBO Max show. But James Gunn apparently gave him an alley-oop on a villain and didn't tell us who it is, but saved one for Peace. Like, I'm not going to use him in Suicide Squad, and we won't use him in Peacemaker Season 1. So hopefully if this gets renewed, you can be able to talk. So kind of curious what the fan speculation is on that right now of who that's gonna be. But they seem really excited about this villain. So maybe once Season 1 launches later this year and we get to watch it and see what it's all about, hopefully we'll know. Maybe we can start to tease out who that is. But they seem, on James Gunn's Twitter, he was really, it's like, I can't tell you, I can't talk about it, but I intentionally did not use them so that John Cena could have an opportunity to go against them. I'm like, I kind of feel like it's Deathstroke.
I kind of hope so, because Deathstroke always seems to like he gets done dirty in every, except for Arrow. He got a good run in Arrow, but like,
oh man, yeah.
But I felt like he was done wrong with the DCU.
Totally agree.
Surprise.
What? The DCU doing something wrong? What?
I kind of hope it is, and I hope it is either Um, uh, oh shoot, what is her name? Sofia Vergara's husband.
Oh, Joe
Maglione or
Maglione.
Maggiolino.
Apologies, Joe, for butchering that.
And or the dude from man, I'm just not doing well tonight. the dude from Spartacus, who played the foil for Spartacus.
I ain't never seen it.
Oh man, everybody should go see Spartacus. That is a gratuitous TV show. Gratuitous. Somebody gets a paper cut. 5 gallons of blood just spews out of that paper cut.
So it's like an
hilarious.
Italian death.
Yes.
Do they like get cut by the paper cut and like looking at it and they're like and then keep getting bullets out of nowhere in a Roman time period piece. Yeah, because that makes sense. Something that does make sense. One of my favorite actresses. We're going to get into casting and announcements. So just to get some things we didn't get to talk about last week. Yes, we'll cover all the Knives Out nonsense that's been happening. Hannah John Kamen, if you remember her in Killjoys, also played Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So just love you so much, Hannah. Is going to be playing Red Sonja in the new Red Sonja remake. Tom, how do you feel about that?
I'm excited about that. I was actually watching Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 weeks ago, and I was thinking, she needs to get back to work.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in much. And by the way, the name of the person I was thinking of is Manu Bennett.
Okay.
He also started with John Cena in Marine in 2006.
That movie's actually not that bad. Like for what it is, just like a run-of-the-mill action movie. Person comes back from war, like if that's your slice of, like if you need like a decent like Rambo remake, that's really what it is, and it's not that bad. I like John Cena. I like that he's branching out, trying to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I have not rewatched Killjoys. It's been a while. I loved her in that. So I think she's really well slated for some more action roles. So that's why I'm really excited.
I do have to put that in rotation again, because I never got past the first half of the season of season 1.
It is very kind of up and down. So it's not one that I usually recommend for folks of like, yeah, it's like I 100% guarantee you. It's like, no, you're either gonna like it or you're gonna be like, meh. There's definitely some issues.
I think I had Dark Matter and Travelers going on at the same time, so
which are both fantastic.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank you for putting me on the Travelers.
Oh yes.
All right. The big news, and I think I have 3 of the photos on here because there's been more. Just and I was joking Monday night that, or no, not Monday night, but it was Tuesday in a conversation. Like I was trying to list out all the actors that were in, or the big actors in Knives Out, the first one, and someone was like, "They're not in the second one." I was like, just calm down. I'm just trying to make a mental list compared to like, holy shit, I forgot the first one was just loaded up with stars, and then they're doing the same thing for part 2. So like you had Chris Evans, Don Johnson, Kathy Lee. Oh goodness, Jamie Lee Curtis. There we go. Michael Shannon, and Toni Collette, along with Craig. So in this one, we've already got Batista confirmed. We got Ed Norton confirmed. Janelle Monáe confirmed. The only 2 photos I did not get loaded on here. Kathryn Hahn, who's just now coming off of her Agatha role on WandaVision, and Leslie Odom Jr. from Hamilton, and most recently, as far as at least dramatic and crime shows, did was it Orient Express the Murder on the Orient Express remake. So.
And next week, either Kenneth or myself will be included in the cast as well, and one of you maybe is announced. Just keep checking the news.
Yeah, whatever if the CDC says we can be in Knives Out too, then it's true.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just brought up the list from the other movie because I have to admit, like, my first reaction was like, holy crap, that's a lot of names. But remembering the cast in the first movie, it's like, oh, and I forgot Max von Sydow. So no, Christopher Plummer. I take that back. Sorry, Christopher Plummer. So they're just like
all over the place.
He just dumped a lot in that first movie. Which for that movie's good. Gosh, folks, if you need a writing example, if you're like, hey Kenneth, what's an example of a real well-written movie? That. Yeah, and Lake of Stanfield, I'm not even trying to like downplay him at all. I'm just talking about like star power. But yeah, honestly he's probably there. You think about what's he Yasuke, the anime series on Netflix, Judas and the Black Messiah. So he's probably there. I'm not trying to like say someone is there or not, but I'm talking about like pulling having some pull on a like marquee. Yeah, he's probably there. And then all the work he already did on Atlanta. So
yes, Atlanta was great. Is it still out?
Yeah, they're working on the next season.
Yeah, I mean it's that COVID limbo.
Yeah, COVID limbo. All right, next up, we got a documentary coming out from. It's going to have its world premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival in June, which I'm super excited about because I'm going to be watching shit from it. And all the movies I was covering from the Chicago Film Festival are coming out now. So if you're seeing those reviews drop out or start coming out for the releases, I've had them in the can for a while, baby. But this is from creator Ryan Murphy, classic on FX series like American Horror Story, Nip Tuck, and from the Blumhouse studio, which of all places. But this is a really good documentary investigating the enduring harm of conversion therapy and the Pray the Gay Away movement. So Netflix picked it up. So there's going to be the Tribeca Film Festival release on June 16th, and then there should be an August release on Netflix, about a month and a half later. Christine Stokopoulos directed it and produced it, and got to interview a lot of former leaders of the movement and people that have experienced that, have gone through those therapies, what it's done to their life and stuff after that fact. So I think it's gonna be really, really good and a very good, insightful documentary on the issues behind that, because it's trash.
Yes, though I do have to say kudos to Netflix, because every once in a while, or at least they try and make an effort to get good documentaries out, and it's not just like Ancient Aliens and something about Hitler. They've done some really good stuff, and I think they've taken some risks too.
Like 1% is like good documentaries. The other thing is like, how many degrees from Kevin Bacon or Hitler is this documentary? And I was like,
today we investigate if Edward Norton is actually a descendant of Hitler.
It's like we're talking about the Cold War, but we always have to go back to how it started, and we're gonna go back to World War II, and we're gonna talk about. All right. Sarah Hyland is staying in the ABC family and going to be joining the Epic show, which is
Epic.
I mean, I want to be excited about it, but look, it's from the same folks that made Once Upon a Time, and it sounds like Once Upon a Time. So, I mean, it'd be like if, I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like if you hired the Game of Thrones writers, the Davids, to write another medieval show. It's like, or high fantasy show, I guess, to be more accurate. It's like, okay, like maybe it'll be good, but do y'all have anything else? So I just hear this and I'm like, didn't you already do fairy tales? Didn't you just do fairy tales? And you're gonna put this out in the same? Okay, whatever, bye.
He's got one trick.
Yeah, but shout out to Sarah Hyland. Like, hey, you're working.
Yeah.
Keep working after Modern Family. 13 seasons, 13 years. Sorry, I had it on there. It's been a long time. Good lord. I was rewatching some season 1 episodes, and I was like, good lord, there were babies on this show that are now like about to be adults, or sorry, about to be like teenagers. Like, what?
Or about to do a very special episode on drunk driving or something like that.
Oh man, what do we got next? Regina King, the queen. Also, shout out to Legendary Pictures, my Godzilla fam. So, looking out. They've closed the deal with Regina King to direct and produce the feature adaptation of Bitterroot. So, this is an Image Comics series created by David F. Walker and Sanford Green, along with indie comic veteran Chuck Brown. So, King will produce this via their Royal Ties banner. Ryan Coogler's jumping in it, along with his wife Zinzi Coogler, and Sav Ohanian of Proximity Media. So, all the black folk, all the black producers coming together, mass hysteria. And so if you have what?
It's just no. I'm just thinking about like I forgot what TV show it was, but it was just like every British actor that ever existed was involved with this, and it seems like this might be the same thing.
Was it? It's either Midsummer or Perot. It feels like but there's a couple of different detective shows on like BBC where it's like I watch episodes. My parents watch episodes, and I'm like, hey, this whole cast has been on Harry Potter. What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like
Though I'm kind of looking forward to Bitterroot announcements, much like Knives Out, where it's just every other week it's somebody new.
Like I'd see the Chief from Luther on something else, and I'd be like, what? Also, I have a rant to go on that, but we will not do that this episode. I didn't know they had the most recent season up, so I got caught up on that, and I was like,
nice.
I'm mad. I'm really mad. Hey, Russell, thank you for liking the stream. Oh my goodness, the photo is blocking the... I will make sure we move that up, because I want people to be seen when they... I've been like doing so many things with this alert box. There we go. We'll move it up there. Yeah, we appreciate the light. Let's see. Where are we at now? So, yes, Regina King. If you have no idea what Bitterroot is, sorry. So, it's set during the Harlem Renaissance in 1924. A fractured family of, like, great monster hunters. There's a new evil that gets unleashed on the city, and the family's going to band together to fight this supernatural threat. So, think, like, the supernatural vibes we got from Lovecraft Country, but, like, 40 years earlier. Because a lot of our things are going on in was that the 50s? Yeah, Lovecraft Country was more 50s, so probably about 25 30 years before that. And yeah, really excited about it.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be interesting. I'm wondering actually about the parallels between that and maybe Lovecraft County.
And I don't mean to compare it to it. It's just, but that's like the immediate.
But you did.
But I did.
You did.
I mean, it's just like I said about Lovecraft. It was just nice seeing black people do like supernatural Goonies, to Indiana Jones shit. We never get to do that. I'm like, hey, I'm getting my Black Sam and Dean fixed. Like, I am not going to complain about this. I will be about this all day.
I wonder if they'll do a black supernatural. Or is that Lovecraft Country?
It might be this movie. Or sorry, it might be this show.
Okay.
Because
I mean, they need to have a cool car.
They do need to have a cool car. The only reason I say Lovecraft doesn't neatly fit that is because they play with genre so much. Like when Hippolyta goes into her like space travel thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool. I'm not against that. But it also is like, oh, this doesn't feel like a supernatural thing anymore. It starts feeling like I don't know, getting some Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon happening here. which is cool. Again, that's not,
Yeah.
not an indictment. It's just this different feel.
Though I'm kind of curious as to how we would maybe draw out the distinction between like the cosmos versus space.
Yeah. That actually, that might be more of I mean, because Lovecraftian horror sometimes is interchangeable with cosmic horror, so
Yep.
I think that's it's an apt description or an apt thing for that to have happened in that show and series. Yeah, well,
We'll play with that.
we'll play with that. Good job, Tom.
Thank you.
Hey, kids, y'all remember JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, started out on television.
AKA Mike Sonder. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Actually, most of this audience might get that. But he's coming back for a show called Mr. Corman, and so something that they're playing with his character's Joe Gordon in the so something was brought up in this article on EW's that it's like he's not really playing himself, but he kind of is. And let's see. Specifically, it's about a teacher that feels trapped in their profession. Think was it Jamie Foxx's character in Soul? It's like they'd much rather be playing jazz in a bar or be on tour than teaching it. It's like it's not that they're a bad teacher,
Man.
but they're kind of like they're
He's going to play the ukulele, isn't he?
I don't know. We will find out. But hey, it's JGL. I'm excited.
Yeah, actually, what has me more excited is Apple TV is really, really bringing their A game or their Apple game
Get out.
to this. I mean, it's just
I mean, you're not wrong. I just don't.
no,
think,
like between what Ted Lasso for All Mankind, this Brave New World. I mean, all of it's just quality production.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend people consider getting an Apple TV subscription. Dare I say it?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrilege. What's funny to me is that I think I told you about this about Ted Lasso. It's like I passed it. I was like, no.
I haven't gotten into it yet, but hey, if the president loves it.
It's really good. It's really good. I'm like, I have to apologize. It's like Jason Sudeikis does a great job. That crew is hilarious. Yeah. So really good.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, numbers wise, maybe, but I don't think Apple TV is.
I would agree with that.
No.
I think that might be the thing that ends up hurting it. But yeah, I don't think it's that the shows are bad on it by any means. Yeah, and I'll have to rewatch hopefully before next week. I need to go back and rewatch For All Mankind, and then because I was like blanking. Even if we had done the shows the last couple weeks, I was gonna be like, man, my memory of it, and then still need to do season 2. So, yeah, we're working on it, folks. I know we said we were gonna talk about it. We are gonna talk about it. It's a good show. Hopefully, even if enough people get on it, maybe we can get someone will pick it up, or maybe Apple TV will wise up and going to extend that. Come on.
Yep, I will say that they're already hinting at season 3, and so.
All right, we got a few. We got a few more. Got a few more. What do we got left? I don't have a photo for this one, but if you've watched Attack the Block, before John Boyega was Finn, FN217 on the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He was in a little-known movie called Attack the Block, where a group of neighborhood kids fight off extraterrestrials trying to take over the neighborhood. Joe Cornish, who directed the first one, was coming back to write and direct the sequel, and Boyega will be back through his production company, so he's going to get to use work with his production company through that. So And I got some news for Super Blur tomorrow because Michael Jai White is launching his own production studio, which I'm really excited about. So tomorrow is really just me talking about black producing that's happening, because I've been stopping for that for the longest. Like, that will help the diversity efforts. So I'm glad that it's happening.
And if it brings us more films like Black Dynamite, or I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. No, actually, is it? Yeah, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Then yeah, I wonder when the Waynes are gonna pop back up, and because they were one of the first that were producers and everything else.
Yeah, I love that. Jamie Foxx has been talking about that recently, his time there, where he's like, like if you're like, from your city or your neighborhood, you might be like the best comedian that's in that area. And he's like, but then I get to live in color, and I'm like the 8th best. And he's like, because you got the whole Wayans family. He's like, I'm not even gonna try to rank that. He's like, but you just got the whole Wayans family. He's like, Jim Carrey is like ascendant. He's like, I forgot who else. And he was like David Allen Greer, and they're just
joined. Stop, Kenneth. I'm your conscience. Sorry.
Oh gosh, and yeah, if y'all, for anyone that follows me in real life, we ended up having an impromptu Jamie Foxx appreciation post. We were showing one video, and then we just started throwing a bunch of videos on there, and Tom's, gosh, that was good.
Yes.
I don't say I think about it, not like at least once a year it comes back up somehow, some way it comes back up at least once a year, and I'm like just as enamored with that as I am the first time I watched it. But if you have no idea what we're talking about, we'll post a link to it with a timestamp, and you can have fun listening to your conscience. Man, I am really bombing.
I should stop talking.
Gosh, do I have any jokes for Emmett Smith? This is the Emmett Smith roast, after all. All right. In some sad news, or I guess no, some of it's good news. Kenya Barris, Blackish is going to wrap with its upcoming 8th season will be its last season. Mixed Dish is getting canceled after its 2nd season. But Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lewis are going to be back for a show called Oldish. Will be the 3rd official ABC spinoff. We still have Grownish, which will be happening on Freeform, but it'll kind of follow the grandparents from the show, not in their current day, but kind of like back when they were younger. Well, not too young, but like when they're raising their son and daughter. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because we got to see a little bit of Bo's family in Mixed Dish, so that's kind of what this will be doing, but kind of getting to see. And again, I don't know how they're gonna do the tech on that, or if it's gonna be, I don't know. Maybe they'll just color their hair black or something. I don't know. I could also be off on the time period as well, because they said it wasn't gonna be exactly in the same Blackish time period. So I did, my natural assumption was I guess it'd be a little bit before that, but I could be wrong, and it could be that they're just gonna follow them to their adventures while Blackish was going on. So we shall see. All right.
Yep.
Okay. We just got a few more major stories, and we'll be good to go, Tom.
Yeah.
So we get into the old getting the old knapsack.
Yes, should I?
All right.
I have a very early meeting tomorrow, everyone.
We talked about this on Monday, so super quickly, Regal and Universal agree on a release window deal, and this is probably one of the better ones I've seen that could work with the streamers, the small theaters, and just the size of a budget. So if for full 31-day theatrical window, if the movie opens up to like more than 50 million in that weekend, so think about your like and again, this is with Universal, so this wouldn't count for like a Black Widow, but you could think of it in that way. Like if Black Widow opened and made over 50 million, which is Definitely something
Not
that
hard to do.
Not hard to do.
Yeah.
You think about what Godzilla just did when it opened up with stuff coming back up, and it easily got over 50 million its opening weekend. That would make the window at least 30 days before it can be on a streaming service. If it is a movie that's less than 50 million, it's a 17-day window before it can be on streaming. And the reason the reason I like this, again, I would like the windows to be a little bit longer anyway. But the reason I like this, especially for the smaller movies, is that at least you get a solid run, you get some buzz behind you, and then you can pivot that into streaming. Now, it still remains to be seen how well that's going to work. So, I reserve the right to kind of amend that if we find out like this is just screwing folks over. But my initial thought is, okay, but at least it gives you 3 solid weekends in a theater, and then if you got some buzz coming out of that and people find out they're going to be on streaming immediately after that for these smaller budget movies and these smaller indie movies, that could be a huge boon that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise, because it keeps people's eyes on your project. Instead of it being, hey, you were out in theaters for a long time but nobody saw it anyway, and then it comes out on DVD and streaming a year later, any inertia you had is just gone.
Yep. Absolutely. I think it's gonna. I like it. I agree with you. It should be a little bit longer, like maybe 30 days for under 50 and 45 to 60 days for over.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that a lot better.
Agreed.
All right. We still don't know for sure if Malcolm Spellman, he was one of the showrunners, writers on Falcon and Winter Soldier, is officially going to be on Captain America 4. But he has hinted that if he is working in a project, one thing he suspects will be addressed is Sam's lack of superpowers. Doesn't that kind of defeat the point of this? Didn't we just watch this?
Not only that, but like Sam was taking on super soldiers and doing okay.
Yeah, he was doing fine.
And he's got shield, he's got wings, he's got that gaudy ass suit. So, I'll be a little disappointed if that suit doesn't have some more Wakanda tech.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, sorry. Folks, I don't know if you can still see us. My computer decided to...
I can see you, and we are still broadcasting.
I think we're good. My presentation, though, was frozen. So I think that's what it was. So maybe everything else was good, what was going out. I couldn't see anything. So I was like, what? What is going on? I swear I'm going to have to work on this thing. All right.
It is ridiculous, though. Like, I'm a big proponent of giant monitors, but when you're on Zoom sessions and other things like this, there's a lot of screen real estate. So, like, I have to look way up in a corner to see.
Hello, Tom.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of, and again, I'm going to talk about this more on Thursday. Issa Rae with HBO Max is bringing back Project Greenlight.
Yay.
So this will be an 8-episode series, or new installment with Issa Rae and Miramax Television. So if you're not familiar with this, it was a documentary series with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I think there was a few other folks involved with that, but they were kind of like the primary two. And they'd help a fledgling writer, director, producer like run through the entire process of a movie. So people, you'd have a group of people kind of competing to see like which one's going to get picked. One gets green lighted, and then they help them get that deal and kind of follow that through the process. There's some great sound bits from that initial show, which I will bring up tomorrow. One I think is still problematic, but it kind of gets the context gets lost over the years, so I'll address that tomorrow. But one, Issa Rae is just like racking up her and Regina. I'm not saying they're in a contest, but her and Regina King are just like going like Oh, you can produce it. You want to produce that? I'm over here doing this. Huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah, a cooperation maybe.
Cooperation. I'm down for it. Tom,
Yes.
how do you feel about Dave Bautista passing on Fast and the Furious?
I feel vindicated because did I not call that about 5 weeks ago that Dave Bautista was gonna like play Dom's cousin or something along those lines when we were talking about The Rock and him having very different ways of.
Yeah, you're right.
Smug face.
But he didn't do it.
No, he didn't.
That's some money to turn down. I have to give him
Yes,
that.
it is.
I don't know. He's intriguing me. I'm not. I mean, he's got some work to do, but like I got to watch Army of the Dead. I was there's some issues with that movie. He's not the problem. He's holding his action own. He's trying to like bring a lot to his character with him and his daughter in the movie. And again, I know it's like any other father's daughter situation in an action movie. Like sometimes it can be kind of hammed up. He's bringing as much gravitas as he can to it. I'm starting to notice that with his most recent stuff. So I'm not saying he's there yet at all, but like when he's saying these things of like I want to be serious. It's like these are like when it comes to action roles, these are the ones I want. So he's talked about Bane. Wants to play Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War series, which if you've seen how big that guy is in the game, I'd buy it.
Yep. And I think he would be a decent Bane. I don't know if he would do the same. If he would have the same resonance that Tom did, but.
Oh yes.
It's just the difficulty of understanding him aside, when you did understand him, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and he's my favorite roided out philosophy teacher.
Speak of the devil, and he will appear.
It's victory that has destroyed you.
Dang it! Now you're gonna make me watch Dark Knight Rises. Dang it, Tom. I had
Sorry.
things to do today. I'm trying to finish Mr. Robot. To just.
But kudos for him, because like I find that interesting, and I find that endearing that he's making those choices, because he could be going for the easy money, and he's not, and maybe he just doesn't have as many kids to put through college as The Rock does.
That could also be.
Comedians in cars having coffee. Seinfeld asked, what is his name? King of Comedy, hosts the Family Feud.
Oh, Steve Harvey.
Thank you. Yes, he's like, you are everywhere. You've got like 6 shows that you're doing. He's like, I got 4 kids that want to go to college. I got a big family that I have to support. Once they're on their own, you're not going to see me at all.
That makes a lot of sense. There was one comment that we kind of didn't get to, and I don't know if I put it in the notes. He gave a little jab to Marvel regarding Drax. So like when Guardians Volume 3 wraps, he's going to be done with Drax. And he made a little jab in that comment that Marvel really didn't do right by Drax. That he was kind of like a comedic punching bag, but there's all this material on Drax in the his family turmoil, and they don't really. It's always the butt of a joke. It's like it always comes at the wrong time. So in Guardians Volume 1, I think it works because like the team is not together yet. So when he has the opportunity to fight Ronan, he's like, nope, this is it. Screw whatever y'all are doing. I don't care about your mission. This is the guy that is responsible. Like he's involved. I want him. It's like cool, but after that, he's kind of got a point. Like Drax in this comics is not a goofball.
Well, and it's not even like they don't even treat him like a goofball. They treat him like an idiot in a lot of ways, and it's
like the invisibility joke.
Yes, Yeah, it's kind of like whatever that dude is from Big Bang Theory. Well, actually,
which one?
all of
Because I
them,
was gonna say
all of them. But no, the most autistic-like of them, which was Pearson, I think is the actor's name. Oh God, I don't know. Sheldon, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think I've watched half an episode of this show, so.
That's still too much.
Yes. But yeah, I think that they laughed at Drax through this process instead of, and I was thinking about this because I was rewatching The Punisher because I had nothing better to do, and like I'm so sick and tired of wounded men and their wounded man screams as they fight and shoot things up and other things like that. Gene! Swear to me!
Wow, I will say,
wow.
See, it's not good for your vocal cords. I don't know how they do it. I will say, I know you brought up Punisher. My only pushback is like if John Bernthal does it, he does it so well.
He does do it well, but man, I was like thinking, I wish he went to therapy in The Punisher. Not to like.
It would have been a great scene.
It would have, but also like he could still kill everybody, but I want him to get in touch with his feelings.
Because that I think about him and Rorschach as far as like just guttural, like I think of Frank when he's in the courtroom, and they're like trying to get him to be like at least play remorseful for everything that he did, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he has that scene where he goes up, and then Rorschach when he's with the psychiatrist, the lunchroom scene and the oil and stuff like that, and he's like, "You're in here with me." Before the whole Batman craze really got in the full gear.
Yep.
All right, and our last one, we wave bye-bye, not to you, the audience, but to AT&T.
Oh, sorry, I was supposed to wave.
It was a nice try. You gave it the old, it was a good effort. You gave it the old college try, but they are out of the Hollywood business. Most producers are fine with this after everything that happened with Warner Brothers and being blindsided with the HBO Max. Now, again, how much of that was really Warner Brothers versus AT&T, I still don't know. I still think that stink is going to be on Warner Brothers for a while just because of how much they have just mismanaged anything they touched recently. So, yeah, okay, AT&T is not your parent company anymore. Yeah, because that was the problem.
Though I will miss John Oliver making fun of AT&T.
I mean, he'll still
throughout
do
this
it.
whole time. Well, yeah, but it's not as funny now that they're not his boss.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that they kind of gave up on being a rival for Comcast, because really that's all that they did that for. Is they are a telecom company like Comcast, and they wanted to create content for themselves exclusively.
So Discovery is in talks right now to absorb them, and given so for anyone thinks like, oh yeah, someone else is gonna pick them up. If you understand the antitrust battle that happened when AT&T was trying to pick them up, there's no you don't have to. So we don't have to worry about this grouping of content dropping with someone else. Like it's gonna be if Discovery wants it and gets the sale approved, that's most likely going to be the way that happens. Comcast is not going to get, Viacom's not going to get this. Disney, NBC, like they're not going to be able to touch this. So, so anyone get any ideas in your head of like, ooh, it's like no, because we can reference articles. That was kind of a knockout, drag out fight. This is probably the most recent antitrust kind of knockout, drag out fight that's happened when AT&T even tried to grab it. So yeah, I can't see, they didn't like it when they did it. I can't see anyone else really swooping in that large and allowing that to happen.
Oh, what the hell if Comcast did it? I don't know if they would be allowed to.
No, I don't think they. I think they would squash that.
Yeah,
So
I think antitrust would have stopped that.
the only groups I could see a streamer. I could see a streamer like Apple or
Or Netflix.
Amazon or Netflix. That's a good one. Like out of those three, someone could do that because it wouldn't be tipping the scales to another like network studio. I
Hmm.
think that's going to be the big thing. It's like if your network studio is also aligned under a telecom or even just like a network studio by yourself, I don't think that's going to happen. But a streamer that's like it's Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and then Netflix, they might have a shot outside of Discovery, assuming the Discovery deal doesn't go through. But yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, the long term study I'd like to do on this is just whose fault was it really? Because everyone's just going to use AT&T as a scapegoat. And if you've listened to this channel for any period of time, you know we have been covering Warner Brothers just as a company for quite some time. Uh, and we've highlighted a lot of issues that were there before that deal even happened. So, I don't know.
I think, yeah, I'll be curious to see who picks it up. Or, I mean, there might be a possibility that they'll just stand alone like they used to.
Yeah, that's entirely
Why
possible.
not?
It's entirely possible, Tom. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now,
Stick around for more business advice from Commander Shipp and Major Tom.
speaking of, if you have a HBO Max subscription through AT&T, we were talking about that on Monday. What I would suspect, is having covered these like breakups the last couple of years, more than likely, I don't think your stuff would be canceled because that's an easy deal for whoever the next
Oh
person that picks it up to just like write another contract with AT&T. Because you think about it, Verizon gives you Netflix access, but you don't. Netflix doesn't own Netflix, so these deals have happened. You know, Sprint and T-Mobile don't own Hulu, and they get that deal through them. So I suspect it would just transfer to that. So for anyone that's worried about it, um, and that is all we have for tonight.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
It's not a bad run for our first week back.
yeah, we got through all that news, so we don't have to talk about news anymore. No, that, you know, I said it like a liar.
Yes. And watch, there's just going to be announcement after announcement. Did we talk about? We didn't talk about Snake Eyes, so
Oh, that's
that's
true.
coming
That's
out,
true.
and that's a surprise. Like I didn't even know Snake Eyes was in the running,
Me neither.
and I didn't even know that Henry Golding was a consideration for it. I'm okay with all of it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I would have thought they would announce the new G.I. Joe before that, but you know, uh, but when you think about it, Snake Eyes, honestly, one of the more solid parts out of those movies. I'd say
Yep.
like Retaliation is okay. It still got a hangover from the first movie, but it's like, all right, we're gonna kind of get back to basics. We're gonna get rid of all this CGI suit nonsense and just like give The Rock a big ass gun and just say like, hey, go run around a city and stop bad guys
Yeah.
with a team.
Um, I am a bit sad that it's not Ray Parker or Ray Park
Yeah, I was about to say.
under the suit.
I was like the
Yeah,
music.
I'm really sad Ray Parker Jr. is not involved in that.
G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. Darren, you have to clip that. You don't know why. You may not know why that's funny. It's not just because of the theme. Oh god. I figured it out. Key and Peele sketch.
What? No, come on, complete.
There's a Key and Peele sketch where Jordan Peele is playing Ray Parker and going through and trying to make new songs as Ray Parker. And it's just, you're like, this is clearly the same. This is clearly the same. Oh my gosh, that was good.
And on that note,
Thank you for that alley oop, Tom.
you're welcome. What are you watching this weekend?
I'm almost done with season 1 of Mr. Robot, so I'll probably knock that out. And also use the other time to finish For All Mankind, so I can be ready for next week. I think I'm all caught up on movies, so I'll try to any reviews I need to finish out and get out. I'll try to do that.
Still have to do Army of Dead.
Yeah, I got to watch it though. I got to watch it last week before
Okay.
the Netflix release. You might like it. I have to admit, it's better than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
I mean, it's.
If you like Dawn of the Dead, you will like this film.
Eh. Like zombie movies usually don't do it for me. Like that's.
I gotcha.
But if it's not, if it is less meh than Mortal Kombat was to me.
Oh,
then,
it's way better than Mortal Kombat.
Okay, well then,
by like
that's
a
fine.
country mile. Like I was joking that Snyder made a. I guess maybe people took it as a backhanded compliment, and it probably was. But I was saying like he did more with two zombies and a love story, and I know that makes no sense right now, but there's like some really good non-verbal storytelling that happens with two of the zombies in the movie, and I'm like, wow, that's really good. Like
yep.
you understand what's going on between these two, and you understand why he's pissed when certain things happen. Wow, wow.
Why didn't he do that for any of the DCEU movies? Any of them? Did you learn? I guess you learned your lesson. Okay. Thanks for destroying my childhood so you can learn how to convey a story and people's emotions without words. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I've been salty all week.
And I joked about Tig Notaro. If you don't know, and I guess I'll try to reserve that. Folks, just watch it and let me know what you think. And it's not a knock on Tig's performance. There's just a thing that happened. We'll talk about it. Maybe I guess we can talk about it next week. And just kind of give our impressions of it. They do an effect. I'm going to try to just leave it at that. Let me know how you think, notice anything, because I don't want to bias you. I already knew it was there, so my eye was just on it. So I'm trying to think, would I have noticed it if my eye wasn't that? Because I know how I can be. Like I'll pick out frames of I'll stop and be like, if I
wait, did they CGI out her mustache or something, like Superman?
Put her in.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Okay, yeah, that's what
I'm saying. And her talking about working 100% in a green screen environment. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So I think she did a fantastic job. It's just, yeah, I'm trying to leave it at that and just let people try not to bias you, but it's probably already.
I mean, there's a reason why actors work on a stage together, usually in scenes. And you can sometimes tell the difference between even cartoons where they're maybe not in the same room, but they're looking at each other while they're doing the voice work and doing it live.
Oh yeah, like
there's
the Bradley
a big difference.
Cooper Rocket Raccoon issue. Like sometimes it feels like they're together, and other times you're like, who are you yelling at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taryn, thank you for clipping that. Very much appreciate it. All right. I swear, we're done. Shout out to our Patreon supporters, Shelby Johnson, Doug. Oh, gosh. I lost it. No. I was about to say Doug Lyman. That is...
Okay.
That is most certainly not it. I want to do right by them, so give me 1 second, folks. Sorry.
And one Bob Babalima.
Schumann. I knew the other ones. I just couldn't remember Doug's last name. Doug Schumann, Vici, and Nell Cherry. Thank you for your monthly support. Definitely has helped us out with these reviews that are coming out. Stay tuned for Thursday night's Super Blurred Variety Hour. I'm going to be talking about black producers. It's just a lot of excellence happening there. And then next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. Me and Tom might have some stuff cooked up. We'll let you know for sure when we finalize our plans. So we may not be doing like official Commander's Watch. Me and Tom might spend the time to like record some stuff for our slow and agreeable Fast and Furious marathon. We'll let you know for sure what our plans are on that. If that ends up not happening, at least on that weekend, I'll put 2 events up for us to watch movies in the following weekend. So yeah. So yeah, either way, it'll either be me and Tom giving commentary live, and then we'll have an edited down version that'll eventually get out, or we'll end up watching some movies. But cool. All right.
Yep.
Until next week, that has been Major Tom.